Hey guys, so today in this video is kind of showing how I clean my Blackstone every single day. This is just a method that I use. I've been doing this for about 3 years, and I thought I would want to share it with y'all so that you can kind of know how I've been able to preserve my Blackstone. And again, this is the method I use after every single cook. So today it was quesadillas. If it's eggs, bacon, grits, if it's steak, doesn't matter. Every single time, this is the method I use after I get done cooking. But I want to add on one thing I didn't mention in the video is that once every 3 to 4 months, depending on how frequently you cook, you might want to bump that to 2 months. If you barely cook on it at all, you can maybe push it back a little bit. If you notice a lot of buildup, you notice that your Blackstone starts to kind of not be as non-stick as it used to be, and it just looks like it's a lot harder to keep it as clean. I do this, I take and I scrape the Blackstone clean, like truly, if you've got any buildup, really get the buildup off, not the simple clean like I did today, just really clean it good, and then I will repolymerize it. So I'm going to take the Blackstone putty seasoning, I'm going to take that and I'm going to re-season it and do about 3 to 4 coats of seasoning, let it burn and completely polymerize off, like in the initial video that you watch whenever you first get it, right? I'm going to do that, and then that way I truly have a good cleaning surface to cook on over and over and over again. But again, that's only every few months. For the most part, this is going to get you by every single day, every single week, to keep your Blackstone well preserved, ready to go for a long time. Again, this is about 3 years of use on this one top, and I couldn't be more than happy with it. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So I was going to make a quick video about how I clean my Blackstone. So I just cooked those quesadillas, and it's been about 30 minutes. I went inside and ate. I turned everything off. So like the Blackstone was still kind of a little warm, but everything was turned off. I used these 3 spatulas, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's back on, but it's on low. It's all the way on low. I just turned it back on like 2 minutes ago, and then I realized I didn't have paper towels, so I ran inside real quick. But pretty much everything I'm going to do is going to be on low, and the only thing that I'm going to use is water, which I need to fill this thing up real quick. So let me come over here and get rained on a second. It's a nice rainy Saturday. I'm going to use water, vegetable oil, some paper towel, this thing right here, which is a rag, and then I'm going to use this light. Maybe it'll help kind of allow us to see a little bit better. But anyway, so first thing I'm going to do is kind of take one of these. I don't have a trash can sitting right here with me. So I'm just going to kind of throw these paper towels on the ground and then clean them up. But I'm going to take real quick and get some of that off of there. I saw a pepper. Okay, it fell off. There was a pepper that was sitting on the back whenever I was cooking, I saw. But I'm just going to take, I'm not applying like any pressure. I'm not applying like any pressure here. I'm just scraping. I say I'm not applying any pressure. I'm not like pushing. I'm just kind of getting that top layer of gunk off. Mine, unfortunately, the back part, if you see, will collect. I don't know if you can see that. Will collect. And so sometimes whenever I'm pushing a bunch of stuff out, I kind of lift my lid for a second. I need to just take and cut that little, I need to, cut that little piece off. But I'm letting this thing kind of warm up. I'm actually going to take and give it some heat for a second to hopefully help it heat up for a second. That way this video is not as long. But again, I'm just kind of taking and getting, I'm going to clean these spatulas real quick. I'm gonna let that one hang. And all I'm doing is doing this to kind of help so that whichever spatula is the dirtiest is the one I usually use to do the basic scraping. But I don't know how much you can see that, but this is where I was cooking the chicken predominantly. This was my hot side. That's a little bit warm, so I turned the heat off because I can feel it actually starting to heat up a good bit. And all I'm doing is just getting it basically back to a low cooking temp, because when I take and put water on it, I want my water to do that right there. That's perfect. So, see that? How that water just kind of popped up for a second? That's what I want. So I'm gonna take, I'm gonna use that water to help get some of this gunk off. And I don't know how much you can tell, like you can't feel my spatula, but before it was kind of like grinding into it a little bit. Now it's sliding smooth across that. Now your corners are hard to get for sure. They're some of the hardest things to get. That's why we use paper towels and the washcloth to kind of use that. There wasn't hardly any cooking going on this side, but I'm still gonna hit it real quick and make sure I get it good. See how it's not turning brown? Again, there's gunk in the corners. I don't care too much. I'll get that in a minute. Now, I'm gonna take and hit my spatula real quick. Alright, cool. Take that down. Let me use water and this paper towel to kind of scrub some of that gunk off. Again, you're not going heavy on the water, because one thing I learned early on is if you overdo it with water, then you cool off the griddle top so fast that water starts to pool more than it starts to clean. Again, I'm throwing it on the ground. I don't typically do that. I usually have it over there, sitting off to the side, my Blackstone, right there, over there next to that trash can, but I don't have it over there today. So now I'm kind of getting the back and the corners cleaned up better. Now I am going to take my hand. Be careful, obviously it's hot, so you don't want to burn yourself, but I'm gonna use my hand to get those corners clean. One thing about how they folded the steel, or not the steel, the cast iron of this thing, which I guess technically, you know, would be, but anyway, how they folded it is they kind of bend it up and then fold it in, and so you do get little nooks and crannies on it that are rounded, and so food will want to kind of collect in those corners. And so I just use my finger, make sure I have enough paper towel that I'm not gonna burn myself, to get into those corners. So it's pretty good, but I'm gonna throw that one on the ground, grab a new paper towel, take and fold it so that it's a thick piece. I'm gonna hit it, give me a line of water, like that. And if there is water in the back, I'm gonna take and grab that water and try to use it to clean up some of these spots. Like this spot still needs some love, so I'm gonna flip that over, hit it with some water. That's better. That looks a lot better. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because what you're gonna do is I'm gonna clean it up pretty good. It's good enough for me. I take and grab a little bit of vegetable oil and a paper towel. Actually, one last step, I forgot. That's why I have this. I keep one washcloth that I confiscated, and it's just my dirty washcloth. I get this thing nice and wet. Nice and wet. So that then I can take this, put it down, and that's the last thing I do. And you can see how much smoke this is making. This is the last thing that I think that really kind of brings it home and cleans it good. Kind of steams all that mess off. Again, I'm gonna take that back, scrape that stuff off, wedge this thing in there, and I'm satisfied. It's hot, be careful. Now, have enough of this to bunch up again. I'm gonna take and do just a splash. I'm gonna cut my heat off first, sorry. I'm trying to do this quick and I'm skipping steps. I cut my heat off so this is not as hot. Again, it was on low heat. I cut my heat completely off. Put just a little bit of oil on it to season it for the next cook. And again, I'm not like truly letting that oil burn in. I don't want it to burn in. I'm just giving it a nice protective layer coat. I'm not trying to polymerize the oil, so I'm keeping the temp low. I'm just giving it a nice, good black layer of oil. I'm gonna hit the sides and the front, and then the back. And make sure to really get in that nook where the food drops out, because it does like to get a little rusty back there if you're not careful. That's it. 4 paper towels and a washcloth, water, spatula, oil, and you are good, ready to go for your next cook. All I do is hit this, grab my light, oh God, and we're done.